I sat down to look last night, and I noticed that every single one of my poems begins with the word I. What an atrocious thing, I thought. I decided to start all over again. Sam sat down to look last night, and he noticed that every single one of his poems begins with the word I. What an atrocious thing, he thought. I try my damnedest to begin in new places and to head out in new directions, but by the time I've taken out everything that didn't need to be there, I'm right back to starting with I again. So, sick of himself once more on a Friday night, Sam went out walking. He goes out walking when something pulls him out, some kind of sickness, some longing. He goes out in search of crowds, hoping and not hoping to be seen, hoping he might find a face in those crowds that helps him to reassure himself later that he is in fact actually alive. Most of the time, you could stop him if you knew him, ask him, and he would be able to describe with accuracy all of the events about to transpire around you. Sam has always been that way. So it was that he knew the woman would come calling last night, just when she did come calling his name from behind. He knew there would be a million faces staring in the street there as he smiled strangely, when in fact he had no intention of smiling. He wanted to not smile, to show how little he needs someone to ask him how his life has been lately, to prove how much he hates it when people pretend they're not alone, not really alone in the end. But he did smile at the woman who came for him, and she smiled back. Nothing they said together was what they meant to say. The various gentle cruelties, the lingering skin-deep truths they dreamed of finally unshouldering, just remained silent still. They walked a block north, and as they parted, Sam pretended he had the intention of going somewhere and meeting someone in particular. They said goodbye, and Sam suddenly found himself sitting at a bar stool, saw himself in the bar mirror, saw the look of hope in his own eyes that no one would notice as he stood right back up again and walked back out the door. Stuck at his desk at the top of another blank page, Sam really did keep trying to not end up with just himself, kept trying to pull out bits and not end up with I. He spends his Friday nights that way, his Saturday nights, his years. In the end, he always decides to start all over again. Last night, I went out walking, and I ran into a woman I love very much. Nothing was said that made any sense, but all the little moments that made up my life flashed before my eyes underneath the street lamp. I resolved, as I do whenever flashes like this one come, no longer to crave possession of the minutes the way I have longed for certain people and places, have pined for their return. I will keep on trying to forget myself, because I have this foolish notion that one day I might find myself that way. I will make sense when I speak. I won't just caw. We'll be making all the disparate little pieces whole again. I will stumble on the truth. I'm sure of it. Once I forget what I'm looking for, will walk out into the heart of matters as if I didn't care, no longer be dumb or foreign or used. I will find the center where they say there is no center. Find it by myself if I have to. And once I finally do arrive, the last thing that will matter will be what word my poems begin with.